All right, well, hello everybody. Oh boy, I'm back out again today. I took about a month and a half break from my standard woodland / landscape photography for my astrophotography, and I've sorely missed this, and it's great to get back out again, and I'm actively looking for compositions. All right, if you look right behind me, you can see this beautiful fallen tree. I pass by this periodically when I'm passing by this area, and I noticed that the landscape had changed somewhat since I was here last. So I decided to come down today and see exactly how things were looking. And I came straight down to this area and I saw this tree. Now, you know, sometimes you see something, you're not quite sure if you can actually get a decent photograph out of it, but you give it a shot anyway. And this is one of those instances where I'm seeing something. Something is here. It's just a matter of getting the right composition and getting everything together. All right, you can see everything starts from here. And let me swing the camera around so you can see pretty much how far it goes. We've got some trash and some obstructions on the far right, but that can be dealt with. So you can see it comes all the way around, crossing the little creek here. And if you look all the way over into the far right, it's got a bunch of trash and whatnot right here, but obviously I'm going to leave that out of the scene altogether and concentrate basically on what I have right here in this area. All right. And yes, you can see we've got the stream coming through, and we've got a wooded area right here in the back. Now, I'm looking at this. There's something here, and I'm going to see exactly what I can come up with. I'm going to go ahead and set up my composition, and I will be right back. All right. Okay, I found my composition. I have it all set up right here, as you can see. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going to focus for two different parts of the tree, just to make sure that everything is in focus. My first focusing point is right over here on this side, and that's going to be my first exposure. All right, I've got about a half of a second at f-stops 14 and ISO 64, and here's the first exposure. All right, there's exposure number one. And my second exposure, I'm going to come over here just a bit and focus in the center, about right there. Excuse me, I'm trying to adjust my focusing on the fly, and I'm holding the camera also. All right, all focused. And here is exposure number two. All right. Okay, that's one shot in the bag for right now. Let me tell you what happened. You ever get that feeling sometimes that you've forgotten something when you walk out of the house? Well, I forgot my other tripod that I would normally set the video camera on to record this entire segment. So basically what I've been doing is I've been going back and forth between my tripod for my main camera and my video camera. And I've also been hand holding it as I did in the last shot. So, well, unfortunate, but I will make do with what I have. Okay, off to the next composition. I have two other targets that look like they might be promising. So I'm going to see how things work out and check out the composition, and I will be back in a second. Okay, it looks like I found my next composition. What I did was I crossed over the creek over here, and I ventured out into a different part of an area in these woods that I haven't actually been to before. And I've seen a number of possibilities already. If you look directly behind me, you'll see there's a tree right here. There basically is one tree, and there's a fork in one, and then there's one tree coming up beside the other. Now there's also another tree off to the right. Now I don't know if I'm actually going to include that in the composition or not, but it has possibilities. I may take a couple of different shots and then see what works out best. Okay, what I'm going to do is shoot this. Well, first of all, what interested me about this particular shot was the fact that you have this interesting plants that are in the foreground, and it looks like these trees are just rising up out of all of this, and it had a pretty interesting look to it. Now, whether or not it's actually going to photograph that way is a different story, but I'm going to take that shot, and it's looking pretty promising as far as I'm concerned. A little post-processing should be able to yield some pretty good results. All right, now I'm going to shoot this in portrait orientation to actually emphasize the height of the trees as it appears to be rising up from all of the vegetation that's in front of it. All right, so I'm going to get that composition set up right now, and I'll be back in a second. As you can see, I've decided on a composition, and if you look, you can see that I've decided to try and get all three of the trees in the frame at the same time. Now, I probably will take one more just for a little bit of variety. Now, okay, now my initial settings are 1.3 seconds, f14, and ISO 64. And I'm ready to take that shot. And I'm looking at my histogram. The histogram looks good. It's going a little bit to the left. Let me give it just a little more exposure here. I'd say that's a little bit better. Okay. And I will go ahead and take that shot. Okay. All right. In case you're wondering, you can see my focusing point was for this tree right in the center right here. And at f-stop 14, everything should be in pretty good focus from the foreground into the background. Now I think I'm going to take one more shot, and maybe in a landscape orientation on this next one. So I'll have another shot to choose from. All right. I've switched over to landscape orientation, and I'm going to take this probably last shot. All right, right now I'm at 2 seconds, f-stop 14, ISO 64, and I'm still focused for that tree right in the center. All right, let's get this shot out of the way. It looks like I've located my third and probably final composition for the day. Right behind me, you can see there the remnants of a stream here. It's a little bit of water here, but there's actually no water flow going through. And if you look through here, it has a very pretty color. It looks like it's probably rich in clay or iron. It has a dark orange appearance to the water. And every now and then we're getting some sunlight that's peeking through the clouds. So I'm hoping maybe I can time this right and get just a little bit of light. So side lighting coming through, hitting the water and the trees on the right side. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I've got my fingers crossed. So I'm going to get that composition set up. Now the composition that I'm going to set up is probably going to be a little bit lower perhaps. And as you can see, there's actually no outlet going through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move closer. Airplane. As you can see, there's actually no outlet going through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the composition over and use this tree to actually block off this area. So it looks like the water is actually going through continuously, straight through. So you can't actually see that it's ending here. And I think that that may work. I'm thinking the colors that are here should definitely work, and obviously they can be enhanced in post-processing. So that's my next composition, and I'm going to get that set up right now. Well, as circumstances would have it, I didn't realize that my battery for my wireless microphone had just died. Anyway, you can clearly see that I have the composition set up. And you can see the exposure time is a bit longer here. It's 4 seconds on this. F-stop 14 and ISO 64 once again. And if you look at the composition, you can see that what I'm doing is I'm using the water in the center as a leading line, leading straight into the image. Now, on the final image, I will probably crop the sides somewhat, and that will channel your attention even more toward the center of the image. Now, the colors are very nice in this image. We have the green, and we have the reddish or orange color to the water. And all of those things can be accentuated in post, and that's precisely what I plan on doing with this particular image. All right. Well, without further ado, here is the finished image. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to comment, like, and please subscribe. Until next time.